This is a very perfect human puppet, with exquisite workmanship in the later stage, which is almost the same as a real person. There are many hidden doors around the body. Ake's eyes were shining now. Keep an eye on this puppet. It was as if he had entered a world that only belonged to him. Observe from the top of the puppet's head to the feet, and pay attention to every finely crafted detail. Time seems to be frozen. Ake is completely immersed in his observation. Until an hour later. Scorpion was about to go out, so he reminded. Okay, it's almost done, I'm going out for a while. Ake reluctantly withdrew his gaze, then smiled and said, okay, then I'll go back first. After speaking, he stepped back and walked out. The scorpion also shook his head helplessly. When he got home, Ake fell into deep thought again. He sat on the edge of the bed, savoring something foolishly. Seeing this, the audience in the live broadcast room immediately started discussing. Kakashi. See. Looking at this situation, Ake is completely fascinated by the puppet. Onoki. He seems to be more obsessed with human puppets than scorpions. He observed very carefully just now, without blinking twice, and kept staring. Yurihong. It's not just that. When I left, I was very reluctant, and I have been thinking about this meeting. Haitu. Oh. Ake, wake up. You can't go on like this. Anko. Exactly. Ake, you are here to save Scorpion. How can you be influenced by him? It is very, very immoral to be a puppet producer. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hey, Ake in this life may really fall into a crooked way. Maybe he will make himself into a puppet in the future. Hidan. Ha ha ha. Isn't this kind of Ake interesting? Little Sakura. No, no, no. That's not okay. That's too weird. Seeing that Ake is very obsessed with human puppets, everyone is also worried. If this really develops like this, what will Ake look like? Will it be the same as the scorpion? Make yourself into a puppet? Next, in the video. In the middle of the night, the village was quiet. And Ake's door opened again. He sneaked another trip to the morgue. Then, in my bathroom. Ake lit the candles, and began to pick out the skin and heart again. For 3 nights in a row, he did this repeatedly. However, in the end, Ake still all failed. This scene made many viewers really more and more worried. Ake seems to be going farther and farther on the road of learning puppetry. And on the morning of the 4th day, Ake went out and came to a breakfast shop to eat. He heard the 2 guards he met last time muttering. The last time the corpse disappeared, it was true. In the past 2 days, 3 people have disappeared in a row. Someone must be stealing the corpse. The higher-ups were alarmed and said that they must be strictly guarded. Hey, who has nothing to do with stealing the corpse? I don't know. Hurry to eat and take over. The task is very heavy these 2 days. The 2 finished their breakfast in a hurry, and then left in a hurry. Regarding this, Ake's face did not change at all. He finished his meal quietly, checked out and left. At this time, the audience in the live broadcast room were inevitably even more worried. Yurihong. No way. Ake may be discovered soon. Anko. If caught, Ake will be severely punished, right? Tamari. It's hard to say, after all, he's still young, so he might just be disciplined by Chio's mother-in-law. Jiraiya. I hope he gets caught, so that the behavior of Ake's producer puppet can be completely stopped. Onoki. It's hard to say, at most let him stop now, and he will still do it secretly. For Ake, now his mind is full of human puppets. Anko. Oh. Ake husband, you can pay more attention. Orochimaru. Chatter. What should he do now? Stealing the corpse is definitely not an option, so should we kill people directly? Deidara. I don't think Master Ake is that cruel, is he? What's more, he's too young to kill anyone. Just when everyone was discussing non-stop, the time in the video has reached the dead of night. And Ake really didn't go out. I saw him lighting a candle and concentrating on what he was doing. The camera pulls in. It turned out to be a big mouse in Ake's hand. On the side, there are already several chickens and ducklings that have been made into puppets. Ake, he really gave up stealing corpses and continued to study small animal puppets. This made the audience in the live broadcast room feel very surprised. Naruto. What's going on? Ake is going back to study small animal puppets? Fourth Rakage. It seems that when he heard that the guards were tightened, he was also afraid and didn't dare to steal anymore. Namikaze Minato. Although Ake is still young, he also knows that stealing a corpse is very bad. Once caught, the consequences will be very serious. Kisame. In fact, instead of continuing to study like this, Ake should increase his strength. In the future, he can find living people by himself and turn them into corpses. Anko. HMPH, no way. Ake's husband won't become such a murderous maniac. Hidan. Oh. I was expecting Ake to kill people directly. Why are you addicted to being a puppet again? Deidara. Master Ake is completely imprisoned now. There are no human corpses, so we can only play with small animals. Uchiha Madara. No, he will definitely act. Don't forget, he is Ake. Senju Hashirama. I am too young, how can I act? Unless I am asking for help from the scorpion. Senju Tobirama. Yes, I can only give up for the time being. There was a lot of discussion. All guessed that Ake would give up on continuing to study human puppets after knowing that the guards had been strengthened. However, there are also a few people who believe that Ake will definitely act again. Even though he is still a child now, his strength has not grown up. However, because Ake gave people the impression that he could perform miracles. Are these guards really hard to stop him? Next, in the video. On the first day, Ake was working on small animal puppets. The next day, and the third day, he was still like this. In addition to eating and sleeping every day, Ake carefully makes puppets on the table. After a week has passed. On this day, the sun was setting. After Ake went out for a nice meal, he went home and fell asleep. This is the earliest day he has slept in these few days. In the dead of night, it was pitch black outside Sand Village. At this time, Ake's door was opened a little. Immediately afterwards, everyone clearly saw a few small figures coming out of the door. If you look closely, there are snakes, mice, giant spiders, etc. Afterwards, these figures moved quickly, heading straight for the morgue. At the door of the morgue, 2 chunin were standing there. And these small animals quickly ran under a wall of the morgue. Squeak. At this time, many people gradually realized that those small animals were all mouse puppets. They are trained to move fast. Use your claws and head to remove all the bricks next to the wall one by one, and then move them to the side. There is only a very low sound in the middle. The 2 guards were not at all alert. Not long after, when a big hole appeared in the wall. These mouse puppets rushed in together. Then, he walked out carrying a dead body. Immediately afterwards, some mouse puppets stayed to patch up the hole. The other part rushed to Ake's home with the bodies smoothly all the way. This scene immediately stunned the audience in the live broadcast room. Most of the people were dumbfounded and remained silent for a long time. After about 10 seconds, the whole studio is boiling. Deidara. Damn. Trough. This is actually remotely controlled. Using a bunch of mouse puppets to complete the stealing of the corpse. Kakashi. No way. This is even possible? A remote control puppet? This is too far. Hidan. Damn. A genius. Who would think of such a method? Yurihong. Yuan. It turns out that Ake re-practiced making puppets with small animals before because he was bored, but because he was looking for which small animal could help him steal the corpse. Haitu. Oh my god. Husband Ake is so amazing. I thought he had given up already. Orochimaru. Chat. To make a human puppet, he really took great pains. Anko. This is too infatuated. Husband Ake has really fallen into the puppet art this time, and he can't get out. Xiao. But, on the other hand, in terms of puppetry, Ake is really good, much better than scorpions. Those little mouse puppets are alive, like real Japanese. Konkuro. Yes. Just now I thought it was a real mouse. The training is so good, it will move bricks for a while, and restore it for a while. Tamari. The smaller the puppet is, the more difficult it is to make and control. Ake may not even know that his puppet art has broken through to a very high level. Everyone was amazed at Ake's operation. Unexpectedly, he made a group of mouse puppets and stole the human body back. The key is to do it perfectly, and there is no trace of the sun. At this time, within Akatsuki, Scorpion was also surprised to see this scene. It is not that simple to say that the little mouse can be controlled so nimbly and freely. Even he, Ake's age, figured this out. In terms of puppetry, he is indeed very talented. Next, in the video. After retrieving the corpse, Ake is once again caught up in the research of the producer puppet. Eviscerated, skinned and cramped, dried. He relies on the help of the mouse puppet every day, and the corpses continue to flow. At this time, Sanagakure's internal senior management also felt unbelievable. Obviously there are guards around the morgue 24 hours a day, and there is no sign of damage on the ground. However, the number of dead bodies is still decreasing every day. This made them very confused, and they didn't know where to investigate. In the end, I had no choice but to move the corpse to another room, but there was no way to prevent the corpse from disappearing. The people guarding the morgue were all panicked, and even thought it was haunted. And Ake didn't know about it. He devoted himself wholeheartedly to the process of making human puppets. Go to bed during the day every day, wake up refreshed at night, and then start busy. A series of actions from skinning, cramping, to drying the corpse. It took him 2 weeks to gradually master it. Afterwards, Ake began to seriously turn corpses into puppets. This process is very difficult. As Scorpion said, the structure of the human body is very complex. It is a very deep knowledge to control people and puppets well. While doing research by himself, Ake occasionally consults bats. In this way, another 2 months passed. In the middle of the night one day, in a dimly lit room, a young girl appeared in front of Ake. About 1.6 meters tall, with a slender and well-proportioned body. Dry skin, slender arms and dry hair, like dead branches. If you look closely, the expression on the face has been fixed, but on the edge of the mouth and around the eyes, there are faintly etched marks artificially. If you look closely, there are extremely delicate screws and steel wires in the muscles and joints. She was fixed in front of Ake, motionless, lifeless. And Ake, after looking at the woman for a while, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth inadvertently, and he looked at her fascinated ly. Afterwards, Ake was still standing on the table, and gently stroked the other person's cheek with his hand. This time, it finally succeeded, my first human puppet. Seeing this, the audience in the live broadcast instantly exploded. Hidan. Nani. This kid actually made it. Jiraiya. This is indeed a bit perfect. Yurihong. It looks really delicate. It's like a big toy. Haitu. That's right. Whether it's joints or skin, this is simply top-notch. Naruto. My god. It looks so scary. Konkuro. It's really surprising. Even a scorpion can't make such a delicate puppet. Xiao. If you only look at the appearance, then Ake's attainments in puppetry have reached a terrifying level. Tamari. I just don't know how aggressive this puppet is. For a while, because the puppet made by Ake was too delicate, the audience in the live broadcast room were shocked. Akatsuki. Scorpion was also dumbfounded at this time. Ake made this puppet really well done. Just this appearance alone makes him feel ashamed. This guy. Have you finally embarked on this road of no return? Scorpion muttered to himself, his mind full of question marks. Next, in the video. Today, the sun is shining. Hot weather makes people irritable. In Sanagakure, however, it was chaos. Many people rushed towards the gate of the village in a panic. When more and more gathered, only then did the audience in the live broadcast room see clearly. At the gate, dozens of wounded sand shinobi in sand-colored robes were returning with a dozen bloody corpses. Angry and distressed expressions were on their faces, and unrecognizable bodies were held up with trembling hands. The bodies were covered with sword wounds and burn marks, and bloodlines soaked their clothing. Their bodies were distorted and deformed, and their faces were distorted beyond recognition, as if they had experienced a terrible battle. The surrounding villagers let out mournful cries. Some villagers identified 1 or 2 of the corpses from their physique and clothing. Then fell to the ground in pain, crying loudly. Cries of grief filled everyone's hearts. Soon, third Kazekage also brought people to the gate of the village. One of Jonin, whose arm was hanging down and unable to move, reported anxiously. At the third generation, a conflict broke out on the front line where we handed over to the Nation of Fire, and many people were killed or injured. This battle is very fierce, and it is very likely that there will be a second Ninja World War. Third Kazekage frowned, and after thinking for a moment, he arranged for people to bring the wounded and corpses back to the village. And Ake, who has been standing in the front position, stared at the corpses without blinking. Seeing this, the audience in the live broadcast room began to speculate. Onoki. Hey, war is cruel. Ake must have been shocked by so many bloody corpses. Sarutobi Hiruzen. That's right, he's only 4 years old after all, so where's he seen this before? Yurihong. Oh. Ake should stay away. Why did he get so close to see it? The little heart will be hit hard. Anko. Don't watch Ake, husband, you will have nightmares at night. Little Sakura. What a tragic scene, I'm even scared when I put this screen on. Is Ake too frightened to move? Terumi Mei. Don't be scared to cry. Didera. Is something wrong? If he was afraid, Ake would have run away long ago. There is no sign of fear in his eyes. Orochimaru. Chatter, I can see a trace of joy in his eyes. Hidan. It seems to be. I think he is thinking about how to get these corpses. After all, he has just completed his own puppet not long ago. Namikaze Minato. This child seems to have completely fallen into darkness. Tamari. You are talking nonsense. How could Ake have such evil thoughts? Many viewers in the live broadcast room were worried. Would Ake be stunned by the situation in front of him? However, soon someone discovered that there was a scared expression on Ake standing there. From his eyes, it is obvious that there is a little bit of excitement. Apparently, Ake had developed a keen interest in these corpses. And on the other side, in the dense forest of the Kingdom of Fire, Ake himself was also a little emotional at this time. I used to be a figure controller. I saved up pocket money since I was a child, and then went to buy the models I liked. After I grow up, there is a special room for my own handicrafts. To be honest, I like to collect human bodies, which is also predictable. Next, in the video. After the corpses were taken away, Ake followed them obsessively. Until these corpses were completely put into the morgue. He reluctantly turned around and walked towards himself. Arrived the next day. Ake didn't go out, but manipulated his puppet to start digging tunnels at home. 1 day, 2 days, a full week has passed. Only then did Ake stop the puppet, and then entered the tunnel with an excited look on his face to inspect it. The tunnel is at least over 100 square meters in size. He nodded in satisfaction and said, yes, this space can store many puppets. In the days that followed, Ake didn't do anything else, except eating and sleeping every day. That's the hard-working producer puppet. Of course, Shiyuan still relies on the group of rat puppets to steal. For so many months, he wasn't caught once. Seeing this, the audience in the live broadcast room was a little speechless. Didera. How many puppets does Master Ake really want to make? He even made a special basement. Kisame. He also did this to avoid being discovered, otherwise the people from Sanagakure will find out, and even if they don't kill him, they will drive out the 4-year-old Ake. Hidan. However, he has been stealing like this, and has been making puppets like this. If he continues to develop at this speed, his achievement will definitely be higher than that of Scorpion. Kakashi. In that case, maybe he will become a big villain in the ninja world. Onoki. That's right. Sooner or later, people will find out, and then Ake will be cast aside by everyone. After all, this method is too inhumane, and normal people can't accept it. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Yes, how will Ake, who has become the public enemy of the ninja world, continue to develop? Little Sakura. I don't want Ake to become like that. That would be a big villain. Tamari. I don't want to either. If 070 is like that, can Ake beat the entire ninja world? Will he end up like Scorpion? Anko. I really hope that Ake's husband will know how to go astray, start a new life, and stop going on like this. Seeing that Ake's producer puppet is getting more and more rampant, some viewers are very worried. If anyone finds out, Ake won't be able to stay in Sanagakure and become a wandering ninja. At that time, he might be chased and killed, and he might even be on the arrest warrant. Wouldn't such Ake be similar to the previous Scorpion? Next, video see this day, Scorpio went out to buy something. When he was looking around on the street looking for a storefront, suddenly, he heard several villagers discussing something non-stop. As usual, he certainly doesn't care. However, he suddenly heard two words, corpse. Immediately, he stopped immediately, and then eavesdropped. Have you heard? The village has been throwing corpses frequently recently? Yeah. I've heard from my brother too, it's been like this for the past few months. I don't know who has nothing to do such an outrageous thing, and even steals the corpse. What's the use of stealing that thing? Hey, I don't know, sometimes the guards are still unconscious in the middle of the night, it seems that they have been poisoned. It's too unbelievable to just steal the corpse without killing the living. That's right. That's what pervert plus listen to these arguments. Scorpion was instantly alert. He immediately thought of his younger brother, Do. Because some time ago, Ake often asked himself about human puppets. To make a human puppet, don't you need a corpse? In Sanagakure. Besides him, only Ake is interested in human puppets. After thinking for a while, Scorpion turned around and immediately walked towards the place where Ake was living. He has to ask for clarification. This matter is no small matter. If Ake really did it, then the trouble will be a bit big. Then, the camera turned. Scorpion has come to the door of Ake's residence. Bang bang. After knocking on the door. Squeak. The door was opened. Ake stuck his head out, looked at Xiao with a smile and said, "Brother, why are you here? Come on in." Then, the two entered the house together. Ake poured a cup of tea for Xiao and asked, "Brother, what are you doing today?" But Xiao looked around first, then turned his head, looked directly at him and said, "The village often throws dead bodies recently, did you do it?" Ake nodded, and then calmly said, "Yes, in order to study the puppet, I can only do this." Xiao sighed and said, "Ake, you're still young, it's too early to get involved with making human puppets. Before you are discovered, you are not allowed to steal corpses in the future." Ake shook his head and said, "Brother, do you want to visit my basement?" Basement? Scorpion was a little surprised. After all, it is not the first time for Ake to come to this house. Never knew there was a basement here, and Ake didn't care too much. Just turn your head and press the switch on the wall. Wow. Next second, a secret door appeared on the ground. Seeing this, Xiao looked at Ake seriously. This secret door didn't exist before, did it? Ake nodded and said, "That's right, I just dug this myself not long ago." After speaking, he took the lead and walked down. Scorpion hesitated for 2 seconds, but also followed. And after entering the following, Scorpion's eyes widened suddenly, his face full of surprise. Because what greets the eye is a magnificent and luxurious sight. In the spacious underground space, dozens of extremely exquisite human puppets are neatly arranged. Every puppet is a work of art. It seems to be a vivid human figure, lifelike. They are placed in different poses. Although the eyes are empty, they seem to have a soul-like existence. It seems that it can jump up by itself at any time. And because of the huge number, the rows look very powerful. Seeing this, the audience in the live broadcast room immediately became excited. Didera. Damn. In less than a month, right? Master Ake has developed so many human puppets. Yurihong. Oh my god. This is too spectacular. Little Sakura. Yes. And all of them look scary. Every puppet seems to have life. Xiao. The level of production is almost the same as the puppet of the Scorpion, and Ake is only 4 years old now. The gap between the two is too big. Hidan. It's amazing. If these puppets are as strong as Brother Scorpion's puppets, then the young Ake is already as strong as me. Kakashi. If it continues like this, it's okay. Will he form a puppet army of 10,000 people in the future? Konkuro. Am I blind? He made so many in one go. For a moment, everyone was extremely surprised. Rows of realistic human puppets make them all feel horrified. And in the video, at this time, the Scorpion had already been stunned. He moved his steps slowly, and then began to stroke one by one, checking up and down carefully. The workmanship of these human puppets is quite exquisite. The frame is well maintained and the control joints are perfectly fitted. Awesome. This is really a group of works of art. Scorpion kept sighing, very obsessed with the puppet in front of him. His current technology has not yet reached this level. At this time, Ake on the side said, "Not bad, brother." Scorpion smiled and said, "It's perfect, because it's perfect." "Did you do all this?" Ake nodded and said, "Yes, but it took me a lot of effort. It's just that these are all failures, and they're a little too late." Failure. Scorpion turned his head and opened his mouth wide, completely startled by Ake's words. In his eyes, the human puppets here are considered the highest level of art. His greatest hope in life is to be able to make such a human puppet. As a result, my younger brother was a little dissatisfied even though he had done this. "You. Why do you say that? Why are you dissatisfied? Where are you dissatisfied?" Scorpion asked loudly, and in the live broadcast room. Everyone was also stunned at this time. "Kakashi, isn't this already good? Still not satisfied?" Little Sakura. "That's it. Everything is perfect. It looks so alive." Hidan. "Is Ake going to start again? Just like in Deidara's life, the requirements for explosion are very high." Conan. "Does he still want to improve his level? But how can this be improved?" Deidara. "I'll go. Master Ake is too Versailles. The human puppet he made has already reached Brother Scorpion's current level. Do you really want to make bombs and play more awesome tricks?" Onoki. "However, he is still young. Maybe he will develop a human puppet that ordinary people can't imagine." Sarutobi Hiruzen. "If you are in the sky, you will have to do something with the mechanism, but so far, you can only see him digging the basement with human puppets, and the control is very smooth." Luo Sha. "That's right, I don't know what the strength is." Orochimaru. "Chatter, no matter what, I am still looking forward to what Ake said about perfection. If the refining is successful, will everyone be surprised again?" 1. At this time, many people felt that Ake's puppet was already very good. It's just that his dissatisfaction made everyone's hearts tense. If the research continues like this, what kind of puppet will Ake research out? Akatsuki. Scorpion is also worried at this time. Obviously, the puppets of Ake in the video are not much different from the ones he makes now. However, he was actually not satisfied, and had to pursue more perfection. Can technology like this go to the next level? And in the video, faced with Scorpion's questioning, Ake also gave his own explanation. "Brother, I remember you told me before. To make a puppet, that is to find a corpse, and then extract internal organs such as viscera and intestines. Then, peel the skin and let it dry, finally, refine on this withered corpse, install hidden weapons, etc. The human puppets produced by this process are like the ones you see now, and they are all mass products, similar to those toys bought and sold in stores. It's just that human puppets can be manipulated by us to fight. It's kind of in conflict with what I'm thinking right now." "Conflict?" Scorpion asked with staring eyes. "This is a producer puppet method that has been passed down for thousands of years. If you want to become a qualified puppet master, you must follow the procedure." Ake shook his head, then said with bright eyes, "No, in my imagination, the real puppet is that everyone retains their own characteristics, just like they were alive." "Features? Same as before life?" Xiao froze in place, looking at his brother in disbelief. In the live broadcast room, many viewers were also dumbfounded. It never occurred to Ake to say these words. Little Sakura. It started. Ake is going to raise the level of puppetry again. Deidara. What do you mean? Master Ake's words are hard to understand. He still wants to use another method to make puppets? Hidan. A puppet is a puppet. How can it still retain the characteristics of a living person? It is already amazing to be able to use the ninjutsu of that person in life, right? Orochimaru. Chat. I think he might just want to revive the dead body and become something like a living person. Jiraiya. Impossible. Orochimaru, that's completely your own idea. How could Ake do such a horrible thing? Orochimaru. Then what do you mean by Ake? Namikaze Minato. I think Ake's idea is to make the puppet more like a real person. It's not about resurrecting it, after all, it's not a puppet in that case. Tsunade. Is it really possible to do this? After a person dies, they will rot in a short time. Except for dry skin and skeleton, other things can't last long. Tamari. That's Ake. He definitely has a way to do it, but if he can do it, it's pretty scary. Konkuro. How far will he improve puppetry? Chio. I don't know, but I feel that if Ake continues to develop like this, the follow-up will definitely be unimaginable. Scorpion. Yes, although this kid may do something scary, but right now, I'm looking forward to it. Next, in the video, Xiao froze in shock for a while, then shook his head and said, "What you said is too unbelievable. However, anyway, you are still young, so continue to study. Maybe it will be successful." Afterwards, Xiao discussed with his younger brother about the production process of human puppets. At dusk, Scorpion left very satisfied. Good. After Ake sighed, he continued to send mouse puppets to steal the corpses, and then made new puppets. In order to achieve his goal, he practiced hard again. 2 months later, the second ninja war broke out. Sanagakure panic. On this day, Ake and Xiao were called home by their parents. Then a farewell was said. Kids, stay well in the village. If you have anything to do, go to grandma to help you deal with it. We're going on a mission and we'll be back soon. Scorpion was a little bit reluctant, tears streaming down his face. He understood very well that war is merciless. If you go there, you may not be able to come back. Ake, on the other hand, was quite calm. He nodded and said, "I hope you will come back soon." Then the family embraced in a piece of the factory. The next day, after the parents of the two left the village, Xiao stood at the entrance of the village and watched him off for 2 days and 2 nights. But Ake got into the room with all his brains, and began to study the human puppet even more desperately. He rarely goes out every day, and work from morning till night. Forget about food and sleep, and study without sleep. And because the war broke out, everyone in the village was very busy, and the number of corpses became dozens or even hundreds of times more than before, so even if the household body disappeared inexplicably, no one would care about it. Ake's sources of corpses are inexhaustible, and he doesn't worry about being checked, so he works harder. 1 day, 2 days, 1 week. Time passed slowly. Ake is completely obsessed with his own research and can't extricate himself. Even food and water are transported by mouse puppets to the basement for storage. So far, he has basically never gone out again. Occasionally Scorpion would come to visit Ake, but no one answered when he knocked on the door for a long time. Since Ake was in the basement, he didn't even notice the knock on the door. And after Xiao stopped in front of the door for a while, he didn't push the door directly to go in, turned around and left to go back to his own business. After all, he also wants to study his own puppet technique to enhance his own strength. The war has matured the Scorpion a lot. The parting that night made Scorpio very sad. At that time, he clearly understood that he must become stronger. In that case, the group went to help their parents. And Chio, as the elder of Sanagakure, is even more busy for the war. Often work late, and even go out to perform tasks. I rarely have time to visit my 2 grandchildren. Still, every once in a while, she still took the time to let her 2 grandsons come to her house to sit and cook a delicious meal. In this way, each family is busy. Soon, a year has passed. And on this day, after finishing her work in the village, Chio immediately relaxed on the chair. Phew. The conflicts during this period of time have finally reduced a little. I don't know what happened to those 2 children. Haven't seen them for months. Saying that, Chio immediately stood up and went out of the room. Soon, she came to Ake's residence, knocked on the door. However, no one responded for a long time. In response, Chio shook his head, and then went to the place where Scorpion lived. When she saw the Scorpion, she immediately smiled and asked what was going on. 490. After the chat, Chio asks again, "Scorpion, have you seen Ake lately? I just went to the place where he lives. No one is at home, and I haven't seen anyone recently." Xiao frowned and said, "I haven't seen him for almost half a year. The last time I saw him, it was Grandma who asked us to go to your house for dinner. Yeah? Xiao was also a little puzzled. Then she enjoined. Then go find him. Tell him, I bought some good food tomorrow, and I will pay for it. After speaking, Xiao left. Because her grandson is studying puppetry, she knows it. In the village, Xiao is not worried about the safety of the two children at all. And Xiao went to Ake's room immediately after he was busy with his own business. However, he knocked on the door for a long time, but no one opened the door. As a last resort, Dai pushed the door open and walked in. Ake, are you home? Scorpion observed the next 4 weeks and found no one at all. At this time, suddenly, Scorpion felt a little movement. He immediately looked around warily and roared in a low voice. Who? Come out. The hidden door in the room was suddenly opened. Scorpion became even more nervous. Hastily took out his crow puppet, ready to fight. Immediately afterwards, a young girl emerged from the basement. I saw that girl's face was clear, handsome, and her eyes were bright. About 1.6 meters tall, with a slender and well-proportioned body. Meticulous skin texture, slender arms, slender fingers, long and shiny hair. No matter how you look at it, it's a real one. But after the girl appeared in front of Xiao, she didn't move at all, not even blinking her eyes, BDFB. This made Scorpio a little confused. A stranger appeared in his younger brother's room. Xiao was very worried about Ake, and then he scolded loudly. You, who are you? Where's my brother? At this time, there was a sound from below. Brother, I'm fine, I'm below, she's my puppet. Puppet? As soon as Xiao heard Ake's voice, his heart immediately relaxed. However, the second half of Ake's sentence made him feel tight again. Immediately, his eyes widened and he was shocked. And the audience in the live broadcast room exploded at this moment. The bullet screen quickly brushed up. Didera. F*K. Trough. Master Ake said. What did you say? This woman is for a puppet. Jiraiya. No, it's impossible. Isn't this fair-skinned and beautiful girl in front of you a living person? No matter how you look at it, she is a living person. Hidan. Nani. This is a human puppet. I thought it was an enemy. Sarutobi Hiruzen. No mistake, right? The old man just thought it was Ake. Which sister came to see him? Naruto. I don't believe it. Is such a beautiful older sister fake? Anko. Ake husband. How did he study it? Can puppets be made so realistic? Konkuro. What a surprise. In just 1 year, Ake's puppetry has improved by leaps and bounds. Chio. If this is really a puppet, then Ake's attainments in puppetry have reached a terrifying level. How did he preserve it? Did he use a special preservative, or? Tamari. The appearance is almost the same as that of a real person, but I don't know how aggressive this puppet is. Kakashi. If you can make such a puppet and install 2 organs at will, it is invincible. This can completely attack at close range. Who would have thought that she would be a fake? Onoki. That's right. If Ake makes an acquaintance puppet to my side, under normal circumstances, Wei will be on guard? For a while, because Ake said that this lifelike woman was a puppet, everyone was shocked. Because this puppet is too realistic, completely no different from a real person. Everyone in Sanagakure, especially Chio and Scorpion, were so shocked that they didn't know what to say. This kind of puppetry that directly retains the human appearance and is vivid has surpassed their comprehension. Next, in the video, the girl puppet slowly moved aside. Then, Rideo's thin figure emerged from the basement. Although judging by his appearance, Ake is indeed good. But his face showed obvious fatigue and weakness. Dark circles tightly surrounded his pale eye sockets, leaving a deep shadow. The skin is close to the bones, and the thin face highlights the weakness and malaise of his body. Under the dim light, Ake's face reveals a sickly paleness, like a weak ghost. But even so, Ake's eyes revealed a bright light that didn't match his appearance. Even in fatigue and depression, his eyes were still sharp and focused. Like looking beyond the surface to see something deeper. Haitu. Ah. Ake's husband. Why did he become so weak? He lost a lot of weight. Yurihong. He has been studying human puppets in this room. Has he collapsed his body? Onoki. That's for sure. After all, he is only a few years old, and every day in this basement, there is no sunlight at all, so it's no wonder he doesn't get sick. Hidan. Damn it. People don't look like humans, and ghosts don't look like ghosts. Overall, it feels very abnormal. Deidara. Damn. Master Ache is completely obsessed with puppetry. I don't even care about my own body. Namikaze Minato. Although his body is very weak, Ache's eyes are very firm. Fourth Raikage. That's right. Obviously his body is failing, but his spirit is very strong. Jiraiya. You don't need to work so hard at such a young age, right? Kakashi. That's right. If this continues, Ache may not live long in this life. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hey. Once you fall into your favorite research, you will be completely crazy. Just like Orochimaru. If you don't stop Ache, he will be more and more abnormal. Tamari. Oh. At this time, who can help him? Scorpion will definitely not. Unless Grandma Chio finds out this, she will definitely let Ache take care of her body. No one thought of it. In just 1 year, Ache turned into this ghostly appearance. In order to study the human puppet, he really took great pains, and he worked desperately without sleep or food. Ache, who is only 5 years old, is in such a weak state that many people are worried. But at the same time, Akatsuki was in the organization. Scorpion's expression was a little dignified. This guy, if I remember correctly, when Xiao was obsessed with being a puppet, I was in the same state. But this time Ache is deeper and more serious than him. Could it be? Is this guy's obsession with the puppet deeper than himself? What path will he take? Then, inside the video, Scorpion was also frightened by Ache's appearance. He rushed over immediately and asked anxiously. Ache, your body. Ache waved his hand and said indifferently, It's okay, brother, I just lack of sleep, I haven't kept up with my nutrition, and I'm just showing some fatigue. As long as you rest well in the future, you will recover to normal soon. Xiao breathed a sigh of relief, then turned his head to look at the real puppet again. Ache, is this really the human puppet you researched? How the hell did you do that? It's so realistic. You can't tell it's a puppet with your eyes. Ache shook his head, sighed and said, although her appearance is indeed very real, but this is still a test product, and it has not reached the appearance I imagined in my heart. Scorpion slowly checked the details on the female puppet, and said in surprise. You say that such a puppet is not the final product yet? Isn't this already perfect? The image has completely reached the level of a real person. Ache sat on a chair and poured himself a glass of water. Then, he continued, it's just that the surface is consistent with the original living person. However, not only on the surface, but also on the inside, that is the real interpersonal zone I want. A real puppet must be exactly the same inside and out as it was when it died, and then it will truly reach a perfect state. In that case, no one can tell the difference between a puppet and a real person. Xiao froze in place, then slowly turned his head. He stared at his brother in horror. What he said just now made his scalp numb suddenly, his whole body couldn't help but feel cold, and he broke out in a little cold sweat. And the live broadcast room was silent for a few seconds at this moment. Everyone was dumbfounded and completely dumbfounded. Immediately after, 10 seconds passed. There was a lot of excitement in the live broadcast room. Haitu. Oh my god. What did Ache's husband say? Inside. What's inside? Naruto. What are the internal and external? You have already made such a realistic puppet, aren't you satisfied? Namikaze Minato. In my estimation. In simple terms, Ache wants to bring the puppet back to life, possessing the abilities of his own life, and even Tsunade. Even have consciousness in life. Little Sakura. How can such a thing be done? Ino. I'm going. Why do you hear my hair stand on end? Kakuzu. A dead puppet regains the abilities and even the consciousness of his life. What is this? Jiraiya. To what extent is he obsessed with human puppets? Even scorpions are not so obsessed. Deidara. F*K. Is Master Ache crazy? If that's the case, is the puppet he made still a puppet? Should it be considered a human? Scorpion. What the hell is he thinking about? Tamari. Ake's road seems to be getting farther and farther, and it has completely fallen into darkness. Konkuro. That's right. Isn't a puppet a weapon used to defeat the enemy? Why do you still want to let the puppet have the ability of life? Isn't that the same as resurrection? Onoki. But, can such a puppet really be successfully made? Even if Sage of Six Paths is alive, it will be difficult for the puppet to regain its own consciousness, right? Senju Tobarama. That's right. Unless it's like the impure world reincarnation technique I developed before, you can borrow the living to resurrect the dead, but it's quite difficult. Senju Hashirama. The resurrected dead are not puppets, right? I think Ake has to find another way. Uchiha Madara. It depends on how he will do it. After all, Ake is very talented. He is still young and has time to study. At this time, the audience in the live broadcast room talked a lot. Everyone was shocked by what Ake said. According to the speculation of the bigwigs in the live broadcast room, Ake actually wanted to make the puppet have the original consciousness. In that case, is the puppet a person, or a puppet? Akatsuki. At this time, everyone also looked directly at Xiao, scrambling to ask questions. Brother Scorpion, if what Ake said can really be made, wouldn't the human puppet be very powerful? If you have self-awareness, you can also use your own ninjutsu. Isn't that scary? Scorpion. Do you think that's really feasible? Scorpion. How does Ake's puppet making level compare with yours? Facing the questions from several people, Xiao was silent for a moment. Then, he nodded and said softly, in terms of technology alone, Ake has surpassed me. As for his idea, I'm afraid it will be difficult to realize. After all, it's too unbelievable to let a puppet regain its consciousness. I never thought about it. Next, in the video, Scorpio was equally shocked. He said in disbelief. How is that possible? The puppet is dead, how could it become conscious? You have very strange ideas, brother. You got too involved. However, Ake shook his head and said, it's okay, this is just my own simple thought at the moment. I will try it first, and if it doesn't work, I will give up. Scorpion nodded, and then continued. Okay, anyway, according to my brother's experience, that kind of thing is absolutely impossible, you just give up as soon as possible. Grandma Chiandai said that she will go to her house for dinner tomorrow. Remember, she hasn't seen you for a long time. Ake nodded and didn't say much. Afterwards, Xiao observed the lifelike female puppet for a while and then left. The next day, Ake was still busy in the basement of his room. And his workbench was filled with several corpses. Ake continued to make human puppets carefully. 1 day, 2 days. He stayed in the room for several days in a row. Obviously, Ake is going to start the research on restoring the puppet's ability during his lifetime. However, no one knows whether it will be successful. Seeing this, the audience in the live broadcast room couldn't help discussing again. Jiraiya. Ake has really continued to work hard on research. Namikaze Minato. That's right, he didn't listen to Scorpion and gave up his research, but he was still going to try. Onoki. However, everyone is dead, and Chakra can't move anymore. How can he restore the ability of the dead? Sarutobi Hiruzen. I don't know. And he is only a few years old, and it is even more impossible for him to know the impure world reincarnation technique, nor does he have the experience of years of research on longevity like Orochimaru. Orochimaru. Chatter. It should be difficult for him to succeed now, and then he will meet me when he grows up, and finally it will be possible to develop a puppet that can have its own consciousness. Hidan. I have to say, what Yin Snake said doesn't make sense. Tamari. Hey, it is absolutely impossible for a puppet to speak. Konkuro. Exactly. Ake, this is nothing but futility. Didera. Who said that? The 6 pens made by our leader can communicate freely, and they can also use various powerful ninjutsu. Naruto. That's right. I saw them attack Konoha before. Uchiha Madara. Nagato uses 6 paths Rinnegan, which can completely control life and death. Ake now only knows a little bit of puppetry. How can it compare? Second Tsuchikage. That's right, it's not at the same level at all. Third Mizukage. The difference between the two is too far. Nowadays, Ake can't do both ninjutsu, puppetry and rinnegan. These are completely different things. Next, in the video. Soon. Another month passed. In the basement in Ake's room, an adult male corpse was placed on the workbench. And Ake, holding a long, thin needle. After observing the corpse carefully for a while, he inserted the needle directly into the chest of the corpse. Immediately afterwards, the needle is withdrawn. Try to find another location. After a few pricks in a row, Ake nodded, a confident expression on his face. Then, he took out a few needles and thrust them into the corpse at the same time. Moment. The corpse suddenly opened its mouth slightly, and let out a groan. Seeing this, many viewers in the live broadcast room were dumbfounded. They all stared at each other dumbfounded. Kakashi, damn. The corpse is making noise. Anko. Well, how is that possible? Am I hallucinating? Tamari. Ake just got a few needles, and the corpse made a sound. This is a bit unreasonable. Konkuro. Incredible. How did this happen? Tsunade. It should be shortly after this person died. Ake just inserted into the lungs of the corpse, allowing the remaining air to spit out from his mouth, forming the picture just now. Orochimaru. No, it should be acupuncture points. I didn't expect that Ake seems to know people's acupuncture points very well. Scorpion. After all, you have to practice puppetry, so you are naturally very clear about the structure of the human body. Naruto. I thought it was a fake corpse just now. Little Sakura. That's right. That noise made people jump. Asterisk 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 while everyone was discussing, inside the video. After researching for a few days, Ake started the next attempt. I saw chakra threads appeared on his fingers, and then slowly wrapped around the corpse. Immediately afterwards, Ake moved his index finger slightly. The corpse's mouth also opened slightly. Then, Ake uses the other two fingers to move. The corpse's mouth opened and closed back and forth. At the same time, a very blunt sound came from the corpse's mouth. Ah, these two, KR, chicken. Seeing this horrible scene, the audience in the live broadcast room was tense and their scalps were numb. And in the video, Ake stared intently and focused. Then, he slowly adjusted the position of the chakra line and continued to try. Clothes. Well, eating grapes. I am too. Ake, morning, on. Zero. Ake is still in the basement. Still standing there motionless fiddling with the chakra line. And the voice and speed of the corpse's speech became smoother and smoother. Then, another week passed, in Ake's basement. After Ake moved his fingers slightly, the male corpse immediately sat on the chair. Then, he blinked his eyes and said directly, "Hi, I'm Ake, I'm 5 years old. I want to be a famous puppeteer." His speech rate and voice were very normal. Just sitting there like a real person. Seeing this scene, all the audience in the live broadcast room were dumbfounded. Didera. F*K. This really worked. The corpse speaks very smoothly. Hidan. Damn. If I hadn't seen the production process of Ake, I wouldn't think it's a corpse. Kakashi. You can easily control the corpse to speak just by relying on your hand skills. Isn't this guy's technique too terrifying? Jiraiya. Unbelievable. Is his puppet technique so powerful? Kikisame. From this point of view, it seems to have more technical content than the one used by the leader. Onoki. There is no comparison at all. Nagato can only do it with Rinnegan, but Ake is completely controlled by the chakra line. They are not at the same level. Tamari. How much control and precision does this require? Haitu. Damn it. It really made the corpse speak again. I don't know if it has its own consciousness. Sarutobi Hiruzen. This puppet looks like a living person, but it is all Ake's secret trick. A corpse is still a corpse, but it is really alive, like a resurrected real person. The audience in the live broadcast room were amazed. No one expected that in just 1 month, Ake actually made the corpse talk. Then, in the video, sitting there, Ake was also very satisfied with the talking corpse in front of him. It finally succeeded. Although it takes a long time, it is really possible. Next, it is to restore his ability in life. This is the most important. After speaking, Ake took out the tool. Started a new round of research. 6. Jiraiya. It started again. Ake's achievement is already the best now, right? Still thinking about restoring the original ability of the corpse, it's a bit of a fantasy. Onoki. That's right, being able to make corpses speak normally is already considered a talent, and it's surprising. Sarutobi Hiruzen. That's right, after all, they are all dead people, and there is no chakra in their bodies, how can they restore it? Orochimaru. Dead people can't use ninjutsu. I see that Ake will go the same way as me sooner or later. Konkuro. Isn't the main attack of the puppet the hidden weapon and mechanism? Ake's idea is too scary. Chio. After all, you are still young, you have to try it out and you will understand. Namikaze Minato. Even the 6 paths used by Nagato is not using their own original ninjutsu. Conan. That's true. After all, those people are dead, and all operations are secretly controlled by Nagato. Deidara. But this is also a unique point of Master Ake, maybe he has a way. Hidan. Unless he can make friends with Shinigami, it's almost the same for him to cheat his corpse. Everyone did not believe that Ake could restore the ninjutsu that the corpse originally knew. Because that is simply impossible. After death, there is nothing left but a body. Is it possible that the 370 Dao Ake can be fabricated out of thin air? At the same time, Ake in the picture also started his own retreat. He slowly dug open the corpse with a knife, and then studied the body structure inside. Sometimes Ake will also pass chakra into the corpse to see where it can pass. In this way, day and night alternate, day after day. Ake was once again endlessly engaged in new research. In this period of time, Xiao also came 2 or 3 times. Every time she came, she would drag Ake straight out of the basement. Then take it back to your own home and make some delicious food for the other party to replenish your body. From Xiao's point of view, Ake's state is obviously very wrong. Skinny, with black eyes. A weak gust of wind came over, as if he couldn't stand it and was about to fall down. His physical condition was very poor. Just, every time after a full meal, Ake would leave immediately and go back to his basement to keep busy. No matter how Xiao persuaded him to stay, he couldn't keep it. In this way, 2 months passed by. Today, the weather outside is sunny and hot. And in the basement of a house, but dark and damp, full of eerie feeling. At this time, a bloody corpse was lying on the workbench. And Ake stood aside, eyes closed. In his hand is holding a bright red heart. Everyone couldn't help being a little curious. I don't know what Ake is doing. Then, not long after. Suddenly, Ake's hand twisted a certain part of his heart. Next second, the heart that was motionless unexpectedly beat a bit. Then, bang bang, although the rhythm and strength of the beating are not strong. However, it actually moved. Moreover, as the heart kept beating, a mass of blue light began to gradually envelop the heart. That's exactly chakra. The heart keeps beating. The frequency is even faster, and the blue light is also brighter. Seeing this, the audience in the live broadcast room was shocked and completely dumbfounded. Little Sakura. So, what is that? Isn't that chakra? Deidara. Damn. Trough. Master Ake, he was able to make the heart beat again, and then produced chakra? Yurihong. Oh my god. How did this happen? I can't imagine it at all. Kakashi. This looks like a chakra generator. Hidan. It doesn't matter if the heart beats. How are these chakra produced? It's unbelievable. Onoki. In just a few months, what kind of research did Ake do? He was able to do this. Isn't this bringing the dead back to life? Black soil. This seems to have led him to research something incredible. Orochimaru. Chatter. What's the reason for this? Even I don't understand it. Sarutobi Hiruzen. It seems that Ake has really opened up a new path. Anko. I thought that Ake's husband was just trying in vain, but it turned out that he has developed an incredible operation. Everyone was very puzzled. Just twisting the heart, how can it keep beating? After the key jumps for a while, chakra is also generated? This is a function that living people have, and it was reproduced by him. Next, in the screen, Ake dragged the beating heart and placed it back in the corpse's stomach bundle. Then, he took out the chakra needle and thread and began to sew it up slowly. This scene made the people in the live broadcast room extremely nervous. They all dared not show their anger and watched quietly. Not long after, Graham was sutured. Restrain the corpse with the chakra thread and make it stand up again. Brush. The corpse's hands suddenly began to seal. Si, Wei, Shen, Hai, Wu, Yin, Boom. Moment. A powerful fireball erupted from the corpse's mouth. Firelight illuminated the entire basement. Bright and bright, people are shocked. The live broadcast room was completely boiling in an instant. Everyone screamed crazily. Hidan. Oh my god. Did you read that right? Not only did the corpse have fingerprints, but it also released a move to kill and escape. Little Sakura. It succeeded. It really succeeded. I released ninjutsu. Deidara. This scene is unbelievable. I'm completely dumbfounded. Uchiha Fugaku. This is the great fireball technique. Although it is a very common fire style, it can also be used by genin, but the one who has not used it yet makes me unbelievable. This is a dead person. Jiraiya. Ake, he actually succeeded, manipulating the corpse to launch ninjutsu. Yurihong. Unbelievable, this scene is too shocking. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't dare to imagine it. Orochimaru. The beating of the heart produced chakra, and then directly launched ninjutsu. Although the process is very reasonable, there are too many unreasonable places in the middle. 1. Onoki. What a guy. The old man called it a guy. Ake actually did it. Konkuro. How is this possible? It is obviously a corpse, a person who has been dead for a long time. Ake tried every means to bring him back to life. Chio. Amazing ability. I even admire the old lady. Scorpion. Has the corpse been played with so much by him? Uchiha Madara. Amazing. It really is Ake, and now his puppet technique is even more terrifying. Conan. If Ake has dozens of these puppets, wouldn't he be invincible? Kakuzu. That's right. As long as the selected corpse has a stronger previous life ability, Ake's combat power will be stronger. Kikisame. Everyone, don't forget that Ake is only a little over 5 years old now. If he continues to develop, I don't know what high-end tricks he can play. Terumi Mei. At such a young age, I have achieved a field that others cannot touch in my life. I really deserve to be my old. Cough cough. I really deserve to be Ake. The success of Ake made the audience in the live broadcast room feel unbelievable. It's okay to invent a chakra to make a perpetual motion machine. It can actually make the corpse directly launch ninjutsu. This scene is a miracle. If it continues to develop, what will happen to Ake in the future? Next, in the screen. Arrived the next day. Ake finally went out for the first time. He ran to a restaurant early and had a good meal. In this way, after a week, Ake's condition gradually improved a lot. However, soon, the misfortune came. On this day, the sky is gray and it may rain at any time. Scorpions suddenly came to Ake's house and called him up. Then we went to the place where Xiao lived together. And when the two arrived, I found that there were already many elders and young people in the village standing there. Everyone had tears on their faces, very illuminating. Xiao also had a mournful face and was very sad. In an instant, Scorpio feels that something very bad has happened. He quickened his pace, quickly came to Xiao's side, and asked tremblingly. Grandma, you asked me and Ake to come over. Here, what's the matter? Xiao sobbed, and then hugged her two grandsons tightly in her arms. Children, you must live well in the future, do you understand? If you want revenge, you have to wait until you become stronger. Wu. Facing Xiao's endless words, Xie became even more anxious. He yelled, Grandma. Xiao let go of her two grandsons, then clenched her fists and said. Your parents died at the front. The one who killed them was none other than White Fang of Konoha village. Hearing this, Xia's legs suddenly became weak. He sat down on the ground uncontrollably. Then, 2 lines of tears flowed down uncontrollably. No, it's impossible. How could they? 1.6. Xiao sighed and said, the news is correct. War is cruel. I hope that both of you can remember Bila, Aketchin. If there is a chance in the future, I will take revenge again. Now you are still young. Scorpion's eyes widened, he shook his head, and then wept louder. Woo. I don't believe it. On the other hand, Ake looked on coldly with no expression on his face. He didn't seem to be touched by this news at all. As if the 2 people who died had nothing to do with him. In the studio, everyone was also a little suspicious at this time. Anko. Is Ake's husband so ruthless? Hearing that his parents died, he didn't change his expression? Onoki. Something is wrong. Could it be that he has become very cold-blooded because he is too devoted to research? Hidan. Exactly. Brother Scorpion is such a cruel person, he is crying so hard right now. Little Sakura. I don't want such Ake. Namikaze Minato. Hey. He seems to have closed his heart, and he is indifferent to the outside world. Haitu. No, I don't believe it. Ake definitely has his own ideas, maybe he will go directly to the front line for revenge later. Uchiha Madara. Yes, Ake has his own ideas, and he will definitely act. Come back from the morgue after identifying the body. Scorpion completely collapsed. Ake, on the other hand, remained expressionless. And the next morning, in a room in the village, Scorpion was sitting on the bench, dazed alone. His eye sockets were bloodshot, showing signs of exhaustion and sadness. Puffiness and dark circles under the eye sockets. Last night, Scorpion stayed up all night. The whole body appears tired, listless, full of sadness and pain. However, at this moment, suddenly, 2 very familiar voices came. Son. Why are you crying? Xie, come here quickly, our family hasn't eaten together for a long time. The Scorpion was all over for a while, and slowly raised its head. A middle-aged couple stood at the door of the house at some point. They are the parents of Scorpio. Scorpion opened his mouth slightly, frowned, and stared at the 2 people in front of him with trembling eyes. With a very confused look on his face. And in the live broadcast room, at this moment, it was boiling instantly. Didera. F*K. Brother Xie and Master Ake's parents are still alive? Hidan. No way. Could it be that the news I got before was false? Chio. No, something is wrong. The news will be sent back only after confirmation. Besides, Scorpion's parents were killed by White Fang. Yurihong. Well, then these 2 people are. Onoki. If there is no accident, it is very likely that Ake did it. After all, he made a real puppet before. Kakashi. I'll go. Is it real or not? Your parents have directly become dolls. Little Sakura. This is too scary. In broad daylight, I thought it was haunted. Naruto. This makes my scalp tingle. Ghost. Scorpion himself was stunned too. He was sad all night, but his parents 14 actually appeared intact. Tsunade. I just feel my palms sweating. This picture is really scary to think about. Kakuzu. Ake, this boy is much more terrifying than what Scorpion did. Ino. Exactly. Scorpion just made their parents into dry puppets, but Ake can talk. All of a sudden, everyone was scared to pee. The revived parents are probably puppets made by Ake. After all, Ake's research has been very mature before. It is only natural to make a person who is so realistic that you can't even tell that it is a puppet and is comparable to a living person. Next, in the screen. After seeing the reappearance of the dead parents, Xie was also shocked. I froze in place for a long time. He couldn't help but took 2 steps forward, wanting to talk to his parents. However, the next second, Scorpion suddenly remembered. The news that my parents died cannot be false. I was in the morgue yesterday, but I saw the bodies of the 2 with my own eyes. Moreover, the death of the 2 of them was still determined by Grandma Chio. Although the 2 people in front of them are very similar to their parents in appearance and voice. But, it must be fake. Besides, if the parents do come, then you should be very excited and hug yourself and tell something. It won't be like this at all, just calling myself calmly and gently. Exactly the same appearance. The body is also the corpse I saw last night. Could it be that they are puppets made by Ake? Scorpion suddenly remembered the living puppet he found in Ake's house not long ago. I just feel my scalp tingling. In order to verify, Scorpion quickly ran towards a certain direction with doubts. Ake is currently busy researching in the basement of his home. Boom. Suddenly, the door was slammed open. Scorpion rushed in hastily. Ake. Ake frowned, then came out of the basement. Brother, what's the matter? Panting heavily, Xiao said sharply, I ask you, have you made your parents into puppets? Ake nodded, and then said very calmly, yes, I did it. The Scorpion was frightened, and took 2 steps back. How can it be? That's exactly like a real person. This is impossible. Seeing the panicked Scorpion, Ake remained expressionless. What are you talking about, bro? Wouldn't it be nice to do that? Very good. Xiao looked at his younger brother in a daze. Then, Ake poured a glass of water and handed it to Xiao, and continued calmly. Everyone is mortal. However, as long as you become a puppet, don't you gain eternal life? Although our parents are already dead, they can always be by our side as puppets. Resurrection in another way, no different from them in the past. Don't you feel good? Don't you miss them? Compared with puppets, do you want them to die and be buried in the ground? Facing Ake's words, Xiao was shocked on the spot, stood there dumbstruck, and remained silent for a long time. The live broadcast room also fell silent at this moment. After 10 seconds passed, everyone is boiling up. Yurihong. Oh my god. What is Ake talking about? Anko. Is this still the Ake I know? No, I don't believe it. Haitu. Ake's husband's words completely ruined my 3 views. Kakashi. Ake has completely gone astray this time. Even more extreme than that Scorpion. No wonder Ake was indifferent to the death of his parents before, so he thought of this method at the first time. Sarutobi Hiruzen. This remark is exactly the same as that brat Orochimaru thinks. Orochimaru. Chatter, 3rd generation. How can you people understand the thinking of geniuses? In my opinion, what Ake said is absolutely right. Kakuzu. HMPH, I also think Ake is right. How many of you understand the pain of losing a loved one? Ake just wants to get his parents in his own way. 1. Didera. That's right. Master Ake just wants his parents, even fake ones. Hidan. Brother Scorpion did the same thing before, but his parents were too rough. He really deserves to be 2 brothers. Little Sakura. But Ake feels more scary. Naruto. Exactly. Just thinking about those 2 talking and laughing people, they are all puppets, makes my scalp tingle. Chio. Hey, now it's Ake who has stepped on a path of no return. The crowd continued to discuss and express their opinions one after another. The idea that Ake revives his parents and wants him to become a puppet to live forever makes most ninjas think it is crooked. If this continues to develop, what kind of impact will he have on the ninja world in the future? Many people find it unimaginable. Next, in the screen. On the streets of Sanagakure, people come and go. Although the war is indeed cruel, but people's lives still go on. It's just that there are not as many things sold as before. Most of them are only people in the village doing business. Just when everyone was hanging out in peace, suddenly, 2 familiar figures appeared on this street. Some villagers glanced at it occasionally, and then they were suddenly frightened. Then, that is a ghost. With one person yelling in panic, the others looked over in surprise. Afterwards, more people shouted in alarm. It's really a ghost. Help. Run. Oh my god. Did you have hallucinations in broad daylight? Isn't that Chio's son and daughter-in-law? What's going on? Aren't they dead? Just when everyone was fleeing in all directions. When Chio got the news, she rushed over immediately. When she saw her son and daughter-in-law who had just died, she was also shocked. However, as the elder of Sanagakure, Chio woke up immediately. Then let the men go up together and tie it up. Then, she checked the body of her son and daughter-in-law very seriously. Not long after, Xiao was even more surprised. Because she discovered that these two people were actually puppets. The body is cold, but the heart and chakra are still alive. After a moment of contemplation, Xiao felt that the only ones who could do this were her two grandsons. After all, those two boys have been studying puppets for the past few years. For the death of their son and daughter-in-law, those two should be the most saddened. Soon, Xiao came to the room where Ake was. It was found that there was no one in the house. Then, she hurried to find me to drink again. Fortunately, Scorpion is in a daze at home. When Xiao asked what happened to the two puppets in Scorpion, Scorpion didn't hide it either, and released Ake's thunder on the first day of May. All of this was researched by Ake himself, and his current puppetry has surpassed everyone. I also met Ake before, but he insisted on doing this, and I couldn't help it. Qian expressed panic. My grandson's puppet art can actually make puppets so perfect. It even reaches the level of fake ones. Simply genius. But producer puppets are banned by order. If Ake continues to develop like this, he may be squeezed out by the village and eventually expelled from the village. Then, she fell into deep thought again. Not long after, Tien 153rd stood up. Her eyes were firm, as if she had made some kind of decision. I'd better go to third generation to discuss this matter. It can't be a big mistake. After finishing speaking, Xiao left in a hurry. Seeing this, some viewers in the live broadcast room suddenly became nervous. Instead of continuing to talk to Ake herself, Xiao informed third Kazekage of this. Then does she just want to deal with her grandson in the normal way? After all, making human puppets is a relatively unethical crime in any village. Inside the video, Scorpion sighed and continued to sit in the original position in a daze, worried. Then, the camera turned. In Feng Ying's office. Xiao pushed the door and entered, and then said directly. Third generation, I have something to tell you. Third Kazekage was processing official documents, looked up and said. Tell me. What's the matter? Xiao tells all about the human puppets made by Ake. But after third Kazekage heard it, his eyes were extremely calm. Xiao continued. Third generation, I know this is a big deal. If any other development if it goes on, it may have an impact on the village. So, I want to take him out and completely abolish his puppet technique. Hearing these words, the audience in the live broadcast room immediately started discussing. Didera. Damn. Master Ake is about to be dealt with by the villagers. Kakashi. Once those things about Ake are discovered, they really cannot be tolerated. Onoki. Xiao is ruthless, he just wanted to abolish his grandson's puppet technique. Sarutobi Hiruzen. There is no other way. If there are such children in our village, we can't let them develop. Little Sakura. Is Ake doomed this time? He is still too young to escape the village, right? Yurihong. No, Ake's strength is not trivial nowadays. If he wants to leave, it will be difficult for anyone to stop him. Haitu. That's right. Ake's husband can use ninjutsu on puppets, so it shouldn't be a big problem to take him out of the village. Tamari. Oh. Don't catch Ake, if you make him betray, it will be really troublesome. Just when everyone was talking about it, in the picture. At this time, third Kazekage said indifferently. Xiao, don't pay too much attention to it. There's actually nothing wrong with it. Hearing this, Xiao was dumbfounded at the time, and she even wondered if she heard it wrong. After a few seconds of surprise, Xiao asks. 3. Third generation. What did you just say? Is there anything wrong? This kind of thing. Third Kazekage nodded, and said with a familiar expression, yes, it's nothing. After reconfirming the words of third generation, Xiao was suddenly surprised and said, This is nothing? Producer puppet is a big taboo that San Shinobi Village has always banned. Even if the entire ninja world is left alone, no one will do such a thing. You say it's nothing? Do you know what a producer puppet needs? That's the dead body of a living person. It's against ethics. Have you forgotten? While talking, Toshiro even started to roar. Originally, she thought that third Kazekage would punish Ake a lot, so she prepared all kinds of excuses to keep Ake. As a result, the other party didn't care at all. And third Kazekage waved his hand, then immediately turned expressionless and said seriously. What about a living corpse? You said it all, they are all dead, and they have completely lost their lives. Wouldn't it be better if they could be made into puppets again to fight? Nowadays wars are frequent, you should understand how many people were killed and injured in our Sand Shinobi village. These puppets can also go to the battlefield and help us defeat the enemy, so that our country can leave more living people. War is cruel, the living don't know how to survive, who cares about the dead? Besides, life is inherently diverse. Even if they are puppets, they are another life carefully crafted by the puppet master. We have to treat everyone equally. Xiao couldn't help but took a few steps back. What third Kazekage said made her feel very shocked and at a loss. And seeing this scene, in the live broadcast room. At this time, heated discussions erupted. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hey, third Kazekage, aren't you talking too much? Do dead people count as life? Terumi Mei. Third generation, when you saw the scorpion make you into a puppet before, didn't you yell at me? What kind of preacher are you here? Yurihong. This is different, the third generation got angry when they saw their puppet. Tamari. But what third generation said is indeed a bit wrong. Everyone has been banning puppets. Why does he still appreciate Ake's behavior this time? Just because he can get very powerful power. Little Sakura. I think third Kazekage is right. It is a time of war, and the situation is special. If one more puppet comes out, there will be more combat power, so as to reduce the damage to the doctor. Tsunade. That's right, it's a war right now. If there's less combat power, a lot more people will die. Think about it, if Ake's puppet can protect the village, would third Kazekage choose to punish him? Of course not. Orochimaru. That's right, crossing rivers and demolishing bridges is only an afterthought. No matter what bad means you do during the war, the higher-ups won't care. Kato Shizune. Orochimaru, I doubt what you're alluding to. Fourth Raikage. Ha ha ha. Isn't Orochimaru just talking about himself? Before the war, the third Hokage did human experimentation and ignored him, but in peacetime, the third Hokage kicked him. Onoki. During the war, it's not about those unethical situations. If it's me, maybe I'll reward Ake. Namikaze Minato. Alas. For the sake of war, third Kazekage also lost his principles. Senju Hashirama. Isn't this the same as the Fourth Ninja World War in the previous video? It's a war. Who cares if you live or die? Just fight. Uchiha Madara. Hot mom. You have time to use your brain. Senju Hashirama. Motor. I'm just discussing the facts. Everyone couldn't help complaining. Those who oppose it feel that third Kazekage is inhuman, and even the dead can sharpen boxes. And those who are more realistic don't care about ethics or immorality. Like first generation said, they're all at war, so what do you care about the living and the dead? Just use it. Next, Gu Pinbing. Although Xiao had a lot of dissatisfaction, she had nothing to say. She just quit the Fengying office very unwillingly, and then immediately threw herself into the busy battle. So far, the matter has not been dealt with, and soon, the camera cuts. The other side. The front line of the battle between the Land of Fire and the Land of Wind. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen brought a group of Anbu members who had just arrived at the temporary shelter where the Konoha shinobi were. Just at this moment, White Fang came back from finishing his mission outside. After the two sides met, White Fang quickly saluted. Sarutobi Hiruzen showed a kind smile and praised. Nice job, old tooth. I heard that you also solved the son and daughter-in-law of the elder Xiao of the Wind Kingdom not long ago. This is a great achievement. When the war is over, I will reward you well. White Fang bowed and said indifferently, I was just lucky, and the third generation was promoted. Sarutobi Hiruzen patted White Fang's shoulder with a smile and said, don't be humble, and make persistent efforts in the future. However, just when Sarutobi Hiruzen's voice just fell, suddenly, two scout ninjas from the Hyuga family rushed over in panic from outside. 3. Lord Third Generation, Lord White Fang. No, it's not good. The voices of the two were immediately heard by everyone in the residence. The Hyuga family, the Inuzuka Tooth family, and a group of Konoha shinobi all came out at the same time. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, dissatisfied. What are you doing in such a hurry? What happened? One of the scouting ninjas panted heavily and said intermittently. Two puppet masters appeared on the battlefield ahead, and they are killing each other. Another followed up. Yes, yes, yes. Their strength is extremely terrifying, and more importantly. As they spoke, the two investigators faltered and hawed for a long time, unable to continue. Sarutobi Hiruzen sternly urged. Aren't they just two puppet masters? Why are you in such a panic? But. The two scout ninjas hesitated to speak. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly became angry. What else? Hurry up and make it clear. Yes. Those two puppet masters have a problem. What is the problem? They are Chiyo's son and daughter-in-law who were killed by White Fang not long ago. Hearing this, the current Konoha shinobi players, one by one, were dumbfounded. Everyone stared at the two in front of them in amazement, as if they had heard some nonsense. Immediately, Sarutobi Hiruzen stepped forward and said loudly. Are you kidding me? Didn't those two people have already been killed by White Fang? The investigative ninja of Hyuga's house trembled, and also looked puzzled. From Lee's, that's right. But they just showed up. It's the two puppet masters who were killed before. They're alive again. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, and asked again. Are you sure you read it right? No, you read that right. Third generation. It's really those two people. Hear this. All the Konoha shinobi players present started whispering. No, it's impossible, isn't it? I clearly saw White Fang killing those two people back then. Could it be that they were resurrected? How is it possible? How can people from the Kingdom of Wind have such abilities? No, we have to go and see. Is it impure world reincarnation? No, it's impossible. That technique has been lost since the second generation, and it's even less likely that people who have passed through the wind will use it. I don't want to get too tangled up in place. Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately waved his hand, summoning the elite present and Afterwards, a group of people hurried towards the battlefield ahead. With the speed of the two, they quickly arrived at the battlefield where the news came. Then, they saw with their own eyes two familiar puppet masters who were manipulating the puppets to kill randomly on the battlefield. It's really them. It's impossible. White Fang was shocked. Unbelievable hands on head. He obviously beheaded these two people with his own hands. But what happened to the two people who appeared in front of him? Whether it's expressions or movements, they are exactly the same as the two White Fang fought against before, and even their skills are even better than before. But how is this possible? Don't think so much, it's important to stop them first. Sarutobi Hiruzen is equally incredible. He believed that White Fang would not lie. But the reality in front of him told him that the situation was completely opposite to what White Fang said. Master Hokage, please wait here to prevent the enemy from cheating. If I can beat them once, I can beat them twice. Although White Fang couldn't believe that these two people were still alive, he was obviously more confident in his own strength. With a flash of white light, they came to the side of the puppet couple in an instant. It is worthy of the name of Konoha's White Fangfang. Sarutobi Hiruzen happened to be watching from the sidelines. White Fang is extremely confident in his own strength. With his extremely fast speed and strong knife skills, he has almost no enemies on the battlefield. All enemies who had seen White Fang's saber technique were killed. All of these made White Fang famous. But now, fighting against the puppet couple again, White Fang immediately felt something was wrong. The last time they fought, after White Fang got close to the puppet couple, after only a dozen rounds of fighting, he beheaded the two of them with his extremely strong skills. But now, the puppet couple were instantly approached, but they didn't panic at all. Instead, they fought with White Fang with ease. Whether it is the reaction ability or the instantaneous speed, they have all improved a lot, so they have avoided many attacks of 353 by White Fang. But, after all, White Fang is stronger. Finding an opportunity, the knife flashed in White Fang's hand and pierced the body of Scorpion's father. One hit succeeded, but White Fang didn't feel the slightest joy. Instead, Yuan Dong was incomparable. The stabbing doesn't feel right. But, by the time he wanted to withdraw, it was already too late. Father Xie, who was supposed to be killed by the penetrating wound, seemed to treat the physical injury as if it didn't exist. The knife inserted into his body seemed to be stuck by something and could not be pulled out. Scorpion's father firmly held White Fang's hands with both hands, restricting his movements. What frightened White Fang the most was the sudden opening of Scorpion's father's chest. Like a ferocious and terrifying monster with its big mouth open, the sharp ribs are its fangs, and there is nothing in its chest. At this moment, 100% realized what these two things in front of him were. Not human. Nor is the resurrection of the dead. They are puppets. Click. The ribs of the Scorpion father wrapped tightly around half of White Fang's body. It's over. White Fang knows that things are not going well. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw that Mother Xie also killed him with a blank face behind her. Pooh. The sharp blade penetrated White Fang's body from all directions. Vital points everywhere were hit hard. Even if it was as strong as White Fang, it couldn't bear this level of damage and died instantly. And all of this happened in an instant. In the blink of an eye, White Fang, who was originally in the upper hand, was instantly beheaded. The morale of Konoha shinobi, who had been boosted by the arrival of White Fang and Sarutobi Hiruzen, suddenly plummeted. They stared dumbfounded at the body slowly falling to the ground, unable to believe what happened before them. That's Konoha's White Fang, heroes of Konoha. Just die? Are they dreaming? They couldn't believe that this happened right in front of their eyes. How can it be? Sarutobi Hiruzen was also shocked. I just watched the battle from the sidelines. Why did the situation take such a sudden turn for the worse? He actually killed White Fang in an instant. Especially Xia's father used his body as bait to kill White Fang regardless of his own injury. This fierceness made Sarutobi Hiruzen shudder. At this moment, there are only two choices left for Sarutobi Hiruzen. One is to stay and fight. The second is to retreat with other Konoha shinobi. Sarutobi Hiruzen only thought about this question for a second before making a decision. Retreat. Sarutobi Hiruzen yelled, and then took the lead in the countercharge. He rushed towards Konoha's base camp. The other Konoha shinobi members saw that their Hokages had run away, and immediately lost all their fighting spirit, and they all fled with horror on their faces. Only the body of Konoha shinobi was left on the ground, and the two puppets standing quietly in the center of the battlefield. Seeing this scene, everyone in the live broadcast room couldn't help it. Some people are excited, some are sad, and some are puzzled. Xiao. Good job. It's really great. Although it's just a video, I helped my son and daughter-in-law get revenge. Konkuro. Don't be so excited, Grandma Xiao. Tamari. You have to understand, after all, Xiao's mother-in-law's son and daughter-in-law were all killed by this man. Kakashi. Father. Was killed by them like this? Hidan. It's really amazing. This fighting technique feels much better than your puppet technique. Kakuzu. It must be Ake secretly manipulating the relationship, and hiding the identity of the puppet, and finally gave White Fang a fatal blow. Scorpion. Hidan. Do you want to die? Didera. Ha ha ha. Brother Scorpion is getting angry? Is it so difficult to admit that your puppetry is not as good as Master Ake? Yurihong. The famous Konoha's White Fang actually died like this? Ake's puppet is really scary. Onoki. I still remember how much difficulty the man Konoha's White Fang once created for our rear on the battlefield. In the end, he died so simply and neatly. Fourth Raikage. Ha ha ha, third Hokage is really shameful, he just ran away like this. Luo Sha. You didn't even have the idea of making a move, so you just left. Don't you even have the idea of taking back the ninja's body? Terumi Mei. There are so many secrets hidden in every Jonin's mind, if possible, they will definitely not be left in the hands of hostile ninjas. The result is that the main generation Hokage ran away without hesitation. Senju Tobarama. Hiruzen, you really, disappointed me. Senju Hashirama. Oh, monkey, how do you tell me how you are? Danzo. That's right, that's how he has always been a total disappointment. The wind direction in the live broadcast room changed suddenly, and the speed made Sarutobi Hiruzen stunned. No, aren't everyone talking about White Fang's death and Ake's puppetry? Am I not doing this to preserve the normal operation of the vitality? How did it turn into a panic-stricken look in your mouth? Although, Sarutobi Hiruzen also admitted that his escape posture was a bit ugly. But it's definitely the right choice. It is definitely irrational to rush upwards even though you know you are not the enemy's opponent. However, looking at the eyes of the other 3 friends in the room, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not say this. He is also a little guilty. In the video, the screen turns. Scorpion's parents showed up at Sanagakure with a group of Konoha shinobi. Under the astonished eyes of all the San shinobi ninjas, 3rd Kazekage personally brought the high-level officials of the village to greet him. Xiao looked at his son and daughter-in-law with complicated eyes. But what has happened? She has been powerless to change. It's just that my heart is full of worries about my grandson. Wait. Why don't these Konoha shinobi have any locks on them? Soon, someone felt something was wrong. These Konoha shinobi, aren't they captives? Why is there no iron chain at all? Afterwards, his doubts were immediately shattered. Scorpion's parents stepped aside. Behind them, White Fang took the lead and knelt down on one knee facing 3rd Kazekage, and Konoha shinobi behind him also knelt down in unison. Konoha's White Fang, for the peace of the ninja world, I am willing to shine for Sanagakure. We would like to shine for Sanagakure. The Konoha shinobi followers shouted in unison. Seeing this scene, all the San shinobi ninjas onlookers were shocked. Why do you want to join us all of a sudden? Isn't Konoha an advantage? I remember him, but he is Konoha's White Fang. I didn't expect him to join our Sanagakure. Is there a fraud in it? It's really weird. There must be something wrong inside. Yes. We must strictly investigate. We must not let them join us so easily. Must be strictly investigated. Strict investigation. They all set their sights on 3rd Kazekage. At this moment, Toshiro stared blankly at White Fang and Konoha shinobi. Could it be that Ake did all of this? Xiao immediately thought of a possibility, trembling all over. Although White Fang and other Konoha shinobi's bodies do not show the slightest trace of puppets, such unreasonable words are obviously not something a normal person can say. Have these people been made puppets by Ake? Thinking of this, Xiao couldn't help but feel shuddering. The sun was shining brightly in the sky, but she felt extremely cold around her. Facing the surrender of White Fang and a group of Konoha shinobi, 3rd Kazekage immediately smiled and opened his hands and said, Welcome. Welcome everyone to join us, Sanagakure. From now on, we will be a family that loves each other. Let us work together for peace in the ninja world. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked again. The San shinobi ninjas were dumbfounded. The audience in the live broadcast room were all stunned. After a few seconds of silence, the live broadcast instantly exploded. Didera. My mother. Did Master Ake directly make people into puppets? Hidan. It's too efficient to make a puppet directly after killing people. Naruto. Wow, it's so scary. You actually turned our Konoha people into yourself. Haitu. Ake's husband is getting deeper and deeper into the war. But I always feel that things are getting more and more wrong. Kakashi. Father was made into a puppet. Could it be that father will go to the battlefield to deal with Konoha's ninja? Onoki. Konoha's White Fang was already scary, but now that it has a puppet body, it will only become more terrifying. Orochimaru. Wait. Can you confirm that these puppeteer Ake made it? Do. Shia's parents are puppet masters themselves, so maybe they can also make puppets. Konkuro. That's right. The puppets made by Ake are exactly like real people, and they also have their own abilities in life. It is estimated that Ai Chong manipulated his father and mother to help him make it. Little Sakura. Do you want puppets to make puppets? Huh, it feels so scary. Ino. If this kind of thing really happened, it would be terrible. Doesn't this mean that all the people they kill will eventually become puppets? Sarutobi Hiruzen. This matter is not certain, but if it can be done, I am afraid things will become very scary. Tsunade. I'm terrified when I think about it. People in the studio were still discussing whether Shia's parents could make puppets. In the video, the content is also continuing to play. Scorpion is, after all, an extremely talented puppeteer. It's immediately obvious that these erratic Konoha shinobi have been made into puppets. Now the scorpion couldn't bear it anymore. I feel that my younger brother is getting deeper and deeper, and has turned into an appearance he doesn't know. As an older brother, Xiao felt that he had to prevent his younger brother from sinking further. He immediately set off to look for Ake, and then found Ake, who was making a puppet in Ake's basement. "Stop it, Ake," Scorpion said sincerely. "It's too weird to continue like this. I know you miss your father and mother very much, but your approach is not correct after all. They are not alive. Please be sober." However, facing Xia's questioning, Ake just looked at Xia indifferently, and said in an extremely indifferent voice, "Because I'm not a living person, that's what I want." Scorpion was stunned. What did you say?" Scorpion suspected that he had heard wrong. How could my younger brother say such cruel and heartless words? Those are their parents. Ake actually said that he wants people who are not alive. Could it be that Ake has long been looking forward to making his parents into puppets? Scorpion felt cold all over his body, like falling into an ice cellar. Ake said coldly, "How bad it is to be alive. When a person lives, he will age and die. Before he dies, he will consume all kinds of materials and destroy the world, and because of various desires and hatreds, wars will be launched, and the lives will be ruined. The puppet is so wonderful by comparison. Puppets won't die, they don't need to consume anything to maintain their existence, and they won't start unnecessary wars because of hatred and desire. Don't you think so, brother?" This elder brother spit out from Ake's cold lips, making Xia tremble all over. Xia couldn't imagine. When did his younger brother's thinking become so extreme? "Ake, stop being obsessed. After all, puppets cannot replace living people, they are just cold objects under your control. Wake up, Ake," Scorpion roared hoarsely, trying to wake up his sinking brother. But Ake was completely unmoved. He just looked at the Scorpion indifferently. I don't know if it's Scorpion's illusion, but he seems to be able to see a touch of eagerness in Ake's eyes. Just like Ake is looking forward to making scorpions into puppets. But if you look carefully, you can't see anything. Even so, Scorpion was still taken aback. Looking around at the many corpses in the basement that have not yet been made into puppets, they stared at him with staring eyes. For the first time in his life, Scorpio felt scared. For these things, the Scorpion feels a sincere fear. Scorpion almost ran away and ran out of Ake's laboratory. Seeing this scene, everyone in the live broadcast room couldn't help but sigh. But more people are gloating. Hidan. Ha ha ha. I didn't expect this guy, Xie, to be scared. It's really ugly. Didera. Brother Scorpion. What's wrong with you? How did you scare me away? Isn't this your favorite puppet? If you can't even face your own artwork, it's too shameful. Naruto. I'll go. Wasn't the Scorpion a person who loved puppets so much, and now he's so frightened? Little Sakura. I can understand, no matter how you think about it, Ake's thinking is too scary. How can a Scorpion stand up to it? Ino. That's right, that's not how normal people think. Orochimaru. This is the so-called extremes must be reversed. The ultimate displayed by Ake is unacceptable to Scorpio, which leads to disgust and fear. Kakashi. The Scorpion on our side, although it is also crazy, can actually understand it, just like Didera, it's just an excessive pursuit of art, but Ake. Who can stand it? Conan. I didn't expect that the puppet master's artist would be scared away by the puppet. This is simply too. Tsunade. Don't talk about scorpions. I guess no one can bear Ake's worldview, because it's scary. Uzumaki Kushina. That's right. Who can resist this? Ake is completely insane. Uchiha Madara. Ha 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 ha. Well done. This is the real artist, much better than that scorpion. Senju Hashirama. I'm going to the motor, can you play this too? Uchiha Madara. I am standing from an artistic point of view. Since it is all destruction, then just go to extremes, it is beautiful. Namikaze Minato. Compared with Ake, the Scorpion has become a normal person. Kakuzu. Hey, Scorpion, don't you want to post something? This guy, it's all over. Xie cursed in his heart, but looking at Ake in the picture, he really felt a little scared. Even staying in Filiuhu still made him feel a little uncomfortable. Think about it. Scorpion lifted Filiuhu and got out from inside. When Xiao organized the others to see it, they were taken aback for a moment. Hey, Scorpion. Why are you here? Tisk tisk, is this your real face? If you see it with your own eyes, you really look young. Deidara couldn't help but look left and right around the Scorpion. Hidan also went up to join in the fun. Scorpion waved his hand impatiently. Go away. Deidara stepped back with a playful smile. Could it be that you felt uncomfortable staying in the puppet, so you ran out? Kakuzu said lightly. It seems that Ake's behavior in the video has affected him. I don't know if it will also affect his combat effectiveness. Dried persimmon ghost shark said with a smile. If a puppet master becomes afraid of his own puppet, he probably loses his ability to fight, right? Scorpion is silent. Conan relieved him. Keep reading, the scene has changed. When everyone heard this, they stopped teasing Scorpion, and quickly turned their attention to the live broadcast room. Really? Video content has changed. It became Konoha's side. In the video, Sarutobi Hiruzen looks serious, and opposite him is Sanin, who was urgently summoned by him. The situation he encountered was so weird that Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't understand it, so he could only ask his 3 most proud disciples to ask about the situation. After explaining what he saw in detail, Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a solemn expression. What do you think of the situation? Jiraiya shook her head decisively. I've never been in a situation like this, and I'm not familiar with the anatomy of the human body or anything like that. Old man, you asked me that. I found the wrong person. Sarutobi Hiruzen glanced at Jiraiya faintly. I'm mostly asking the other 2, you're just passing it by. Click. Jiraiya instantly petrified on the spot. Sarutobi Hiruzen continued. I called the other 2 people and didn't call you. I always thought you would be thinking about it, so I came here and let you listen in. You don't have to say anything about what's going on, and I don't think you have any opinion either. Pooh. Sarutobi Hiruzen's words turned into a sharp blade and pierced Jiraiya's chest. Let him roll his eyes and slump on a chair. Sarutobi Hiruzen set his eyes on the other 2 disciples. Tsunade frowned, shook his head and said, White Fang's sword technique is extremely powerful. He said that killing the other party is definitely not wrong. In other words, the enemy used some means to bring them back from the dead. This is Tsunade's speculation, but she herself felt that it was impossible to say this. But it is impossible for a person to come back to life, and death is death. This is Tsunade's perception as a medical ninja. Death cannot be brought back to life, otherwise death would not be such a sad thing. But Orochimaru shook his head and said, there is still a way to revive. You forgot that a forbidden technique created by second Hokage was able to resurrect the dead. Tsunade thought for a while, and found the target forbidden technique from among the many forbidden techniques created by Senju Tobirama. You mean impure world reincarnation? Orochimaru nodded, then shook his head again. But this is the forbidden technique, which has been sealed in the sealed book. It is impossible for Sanagakure to know this forbidden technique. But apart from impure world reincarnation, the only ninjutsu I can think of that can bring the dead back to life is the legendary eye of the Sage of 6 Paths, Rinnegan. But those are the eyes of a fairy, and naturally they are not something that Sanagakure can grasp. If they had such a thing, how could they have fought so hard in the war? In short, I can't make a more accurate inference without actually looking at it. As he spoke, he raised his head to look at the ancient Sarutobi Hiruzen because of the snake. Can they be found? I want to go and see for myself. Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head and said, it's not clear yet. I'm afraid they should have returned to the minister of Sanagakure. After all, they just obtained Shuomao's body. Maybe they are capturing the memory in his mind overnight. Jiraiya suddenly yelled loudly. If only I were there. Even if I try to die, I will never let them take Shuomao's body away. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's face remained motionless. His skin was as thick as a city wall, and he didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Although in his heart, Sarutobi Hiruzen has scolded Jiraiya countless times. I am also very sorry, but unfortunately there were too many wounded at that time, and I could only temporarily rescue the wounded first. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with shame on his face. Jiraiya comforted very simply. Oh, old man, you can't help it. After all, you can't leave those wounded alone. Tsunade and Orochimaru rolled their eyes covertly. In the live broadcast room, everyone saw Sarutobi Hiruzen's proficient acting skills and cursed one after another. Onoki. Jiraiya is so innocent, is he an idiot? Can't you see such an obvious thing as running away? Orochimaru. Jiraiya can't be blamed, after all, third generation's acting skills are superb. Fourth Raikage. Third generation is also careless. If you rushed up to look at it at that time, you might have discovered the truth. Luo Sha. This is a mistake that will cause eternal hatred. Tsunade. What's next? Are you going to send us to deal with Ache? Jiraiya. I have a bad feeling. A few.